Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Thursday edition of Rasaji Speaks. Don't forget, we have PFL today, and at 1 o'clock, it's going to be real exciting with Sister Lynette and Lama G. A lot of good insight that you're going to talk about. Some of it we're going to address today on today's morning lesson. Trading with the heart, balancing economical growth and spiritual values. Well, just like there's patriots and then there's spiritual patriots, there are financial advisors and then there's spiritual financial advisors. There's investors and then there's spiritual investors. Back several decades ago, I was looking one night after the market had closed, and for years on PBS, there was a famous investor show called The Wall Street Week with Louis Rukeyser was the host. You give you a chance to understand how long Lamaji's been in the market, more than most, I assure you. And in that process, he would have a guest on Gambatti, but one of my favorite guests was Sir John Templeton, who was a Christian Scientist. Actually, was a deacon actually in the Church of Christian Science. Today, we would probably call them a metaphysical Christian. There's a lot of those with our groups today. Metaphysical means more than physical or greater than physical, right? And he was the one that really coined the strategy of dollar cost averaging. So, buy a stock or a security, maybe 5, 10, 100 shares or units of something. I buy it at $50. I liked it. Goes down to 40. Maybe I buy a little bit more was one of the strategy, because now my cost, if I bought an equal amount, I would only have to reach clear 45. So if I go back to my original number, I'm up $5 a share. You see what I'm saying? Or another way to implement dollar cost averaging, which PFL does both of these strategies, on a real long-term hold of 5 years or longer. In other words, I just want to own quite a bit of this equity over a period of time on a fixed given time period with a fixed given dollar amount, could be weekly, monthly, quarterly. I'm going to apply $100, $500, $1,000 to the same security consistently. And that way, if the market goes down, I get more of it. If it goes up, it's worth more. If it goes down, I get more of it, and see because of that consistency. Most of the best investors in the world, spiritual or not spiritual, cannot time the market. It will turn some of the best investors into unconscious traders. And that is a whole different mindset. That trading mentality can create a lot of urge and really mess with your birth trauma and your death urge. When I'm coaching people, I'm no financial advisor, even though I was trained as one and worked as one in the early 90s. That was my footing and my foundation about what I was doing. I learned quite a bit about the insurance industry, the banking industry, and the brokerage industry. And I was, now when I look back, one of the reasons they started me training in that decade, that was the decade where banks did banking, brokerage houses sold stock, and insurance companies sold annuities and life insurance. And that was it. But by the end of the 90s, going into the late 90s, the software programs for investing and trading were already coming online. Quick and Riley, Fidelity, all these companies, then E-Trade, Amerishare, they all started coming on. And Lama G was learning to navigate himself through these softwares. But as they came online, guess what happened? Banking decided it wanted to also be in the stock market. So they created an entity, got several bills passed in Congress, and now all of a sudden, banking could be in investing. And also, they were using third parties for insurance. Insurance companies then went to their agents and says, you know, if you're selling an annuity, especially a fixed rate annuity, all you need is an insurance license. But if we want you to get your Series 7 or Series 8, so you can now sell mutual funds. So lo and behold, all your life insurance companies, New York Life, Metropolitan Life, Northwestern Mutual, Massachusetts Mutual, Mutual of Omaha, all of a sudden now they're tippy-toeing backing in, and they can now sell annuities with a variable rate targeted certain indices in the market, right? And then you turn around and the brokerage houses were buying out insurance companies, and they said, well, God, if they're getting into our business, why don't we get into their business? So it started this pyramid. So today it's like they all have an insurance division, they all have a banking division, a brokerage division. And Lama G, because I was thrown in during that time, I saw this all happen and come about. A lot of people today, if you're new to investing, let's say in the last 10 years, then you're relatively new to the game. You thought probably it was always like this. It wasn't. Before the 90s, it was not like this. Banking was here, brokerage houses were here, the insurance companies were here. But these three are the foundational pillars of wealth because interact. Then now we have the crypto market. So now there's a fourth market, and it's totally different. There are semblances of a lot of these other three entities. Then you got a company that's just come up like SoFi. That's right, SOFI. You can check them out. They came into the market very much like Southwestern Airlines did 30 years ago in the airlines. And they said, you know what? We're going to offer service a little cheaper, and we're going to offer things that the other airlines are not offering, or the other brokerage houses are not offering. Better rates, less cost, the whole nine. And we're going to come in with a smorgasbord of everything. We'll give you loan on your house, credit cards, investing. You know, it's a smorgasbord, and it's a very simple platform, right? Robinhood's another one, right? Those are totally different. Well, this SoFi now, just watching its stock, and I've listened a dozen times to the CEO. So there's opportunities out there that didn't exist before. But are you spiritually, right? I mean, are you spiritually grounded enough? When people first come to Lamaji and say, Lamaji, I want to know like what you're doing in the market, right? What are you doing in the market? And one of the first things I teach them is to do so very unemotionally. Do your column exercise, right? What are you drawn to? Mutual funds, ETFs, independent stocks, bonds, other forms of equity, precious metals, futures, commodities, currency trading, swapping the Japanese yen for the US dollar. Most people don't have a clue. Absolutely. So part of my job is to help them assess risk assessment, like what you want to do. As a financial planner in the 90s, they trained us to ask some basic questions. Determine risk, determine duration. What is your time frame for investing? Determine what you want this to do. What do you want it to finance? See, when you get to this arena, all of a sudden, Master David's mastery of feng shui envelopes and the column exercise, of which we have plenty of those recordings up, really comes into play here. I mean, it is incredible what you can learn applying the column exercise in the way that he says, and having at least 3 feng shui envelopes, right? Maybe it's a tithing envelope. Maybe you like donating to COC or organizations like COC. Maybe it's an Ascension tour because you love the energy and meeting your family in the Ascension tour, your spiritual family, right? Maybe it's retirement. Maybe you're a teacher with us and you would like to create a portfolio to finance your teaching practice over the next 3 to 5 years. Or maybe you're coming to Brother Nate and Lama G with the idea you want to own or manage a wellness center, a Circle of Chi, and you want to do so with your own capital. See, there's a lot of things that you could do, right? So what is your time frame? What do you want to do? What's your risk tolerance? Do you want to earn 5% a year? Well, if you're doing so, you're earning more than 80 to 90% of the banking industry is going to pay you, unless you have millions and millions of dollars. People who have millions and millions of dollars, there are certain rates that are untold. As I began to prosper over the years and choose the name Prosperity of Life through the Lamasery, doors started to open up with levels of returns in the bond market and the CD market. You can't really do that with government T-bills, but boy, they're stable and they can produce a regular income. Most people don't know that even in T-bills, you can get a 30-day T-bill. And for the last couple of years, they've been producing some of the highest interest rates. That means you could turn that over every 30 days. Pretty interesting, right? Yielding anywhere from 3 to 5% a year, divided by 12, and that's the constant rate you're getting. Can be residual income backed by the US government. Pretty cool. But very common is 30 days, 3, 6, 12 months, 2 years, 10 years, and even 30 years. So you can go from bills to bonds. You see, Lama G's been around for a while. Some of you, I'm giving you an education today. Maybe some of you, I'm humbling you, right? Lama G's been doing conscious investing for over 3 decades. And I've been doing it based on my heart, my spirituality. But I teach people in the beginning to take the emotions completely out. See, everybody has a number that they're uncomfortable with. For some people, that might be $500. When some people come into, prosperity of life, $500 might be a lot for them to get off with, respecting what's going on in their life right now. If they're new to feng shui envelopes, column exercise, tai chi gong, and they really don't have 2 nickels to rub together, it's a big deal, right? But then some people it's 5,000, some people it's 50,000. Some people in our group, this might shock you, that number's 500,000. And yes, we have a few people in our group that it's in the millions before they start to get a little antsy. Isn't that amazing? Because they've done well in their life. And that financial arena, right? And chapters 6 and 7, they've done better than most people. See, when you look at the circle of chi, money is 2 chapters: money front door, money back door. That's what we're going to be talking about here today. A little bit about our affiliate program and Lamaji's approach to investing, and how a lot of what we do is backed by securities that a lot of people in the financial arena never do. But we do that because it's important to Lamaji, and it should be important to you. So you'll hear about that. So tune in today with the hostess with the mostest and Lamaji, and I'm going to share with you more about this conversation. I think you're going to like it. Come and bring your pencil and paper. And remember, we record everything. All our webinars are recorded, and it makes every week the value of your membership get higher and higher. You can get all of this for $14.95 a month. God bless you. See you tomorrow on Shangri-La Friday's edition of Rasaji Speaks. God bless you all.